Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, the 6th of June, and I just wanted to do a brief recording on the whole Brexit issue and the trade ideas surrounding that. So here's my analysis on what I'm looking for at the moment in terms of the FTSE, the Euro Sterling, Sterling Swiss franc, and the Sterling US dollar. Now, there's just so much news out on Brexit and the Leave campaign and the Remain campaign and what should and shouldn't happen, that it's quite a risky period in terms of trading, particularly currencies, and particularly trading at very high leverage. So in a time like this, what I generally do is I reduce my leverage on the trading account in terms of the currencies, and I trade at much lower leverage. Okay. So if we start with the, I have basically 4 trade ideas surrounding Brexit, and each one gets triggered at certain price points. So if we're going to look at the FTSE, and we look at a Ichimoku Cloud Chart here on the FTSE, we can see we pretty much in a sideways moving range for quite some time now. The cloud is a critical support and resistance area. We can see here the old cloud levels here at 6,048. That's an intra within the cloud support area, and the next support area is down here at 5,964. So this bottom end of the trading range is the key support area, and then the resistance area is at 6,300, the top end of the cloud here. So for the FTSE, we're looking for a breakout out of the cloud chart resistance here. If it can get past 6,300, then we're looking at the top end here at 4,400 as the next resistance area. But what do we do now? The FTSE is currently with just floating around on the top of cloud chart support, so one can go long, trade it up to the resistance area at 6,300, and then see if it want to break out further. If it doesn't, and it looks like it wants to reverse lower, then one would go short there, and you would get out of your short when it gets to the bottom end, 6,136, or this support area at 6,048. So in essence, the FTSE is currently range bound in terms of trade. The cloud, the bottom end of the cloud is the support area, the top end is the resistance area, so that's where you go short generally, and this is where you go long on the FTSE, for example. However, looking at the weekly cloud, here we can see the top end, the bottom end of the weekly cloud is a major resistance area. And yeah, the 6,445, the top end of the cloud, is a major short selling area. So if the FTSE can't break past that level, then I would go short there. And currently I'm looking at going long on the daily chart with an eye on this resistance area to see if it can get past the 6,445 area. So on the daily chart, I'm long on current levels, and then I would go out, cover that long position, sell that around 6,400 on the weekly chart. So that's the kind of resistance areas. 6597 is another weekly one, but I have to say, yeah, the big issue here is that we have a downtrending cloud. Price action is taking below the cloud, so we do technically have a long-term downtrend based on a weekly cloud. So you can already see, yeah, the market's already kind of discounting negative news, the market's pulling back, and I don't think this is only Brexit related. This is really related to the economy. Things are slowing down, earnings growth has been slowing down, so overall we are on a downtrend on the FTSE, so you can just keep shorting the rallies on the downtrend. What we're looking for is a twist in the front end of the cloud to the upside. That will help us determine whether we are changing trend. But so far, just remember the weekly cloud, we are in a downtrend, so I would be net short the FTSE going right into Brexit, because the downside risk post-economic economic situation is quite significant. So might have if Brexit does not happen, we'll have a brief pop up to the 6,445 or 6,500 areas. But by that time, we need to see a flip of the front end of the cloud. If we don't see that, then we still have a downtrend in place. But weekly, pretty dire picture. It's in a downtrend with short-term trading opportunities on the weekly, the daily cloud, for example. Okay. Now, if we go to the next one, we're just going to look at the sterling US dollar. Here we have support at the top end of the cloud. You can see here it's bouncing around the old cloud chart support level there, and it's a front end cloud chart support area. So the top end of the cloud here is, for now, looks like it's support. So I would be going long around these levels in sterling, and if there any further weakness around the bottom end of the cloud, I would still remain a buyer of sterling here. Buy the rumor, sell the fact. So there's so much negative news in the market now that sterling should rally post Brexit, the leave vote. If the referendum is for a remain in the EU. But we are buying support here, and the upside potential is up to the resistance area on the weekly chart, back up here to about 150 area. So there's a good healthy relief rally possible for sterling, but do realize that we have a significant resistance area in terms of the cloud here. This whole area at the cloud is the resistance area, so we should see a nice comfortable rally back down to 148, and if not, we might see a nice pop up to 152 if the Brexit vote does not take place. So where do we stand right now? Be aware that these are the resistance areas, 148 and 152, and then the on the daily chart we're looking at a rebound from the top end of the cloud back up to these resistance levels, and that's the 148 cloud chart resistance area. So I'll be net long going into the result, but I will do it a significantly reduced margin. Okay. The other one we're looking for is just see the display list. Is the euro sterling. We now at a significant resistance area. You can see these are the old cloud chart resistance areas. That's the top end of the cloud there. So it looks like the euro sterling has kind of run its course. Nice little rally here based on the risk, weakness in the pound, strength in the euro. But we're at a resistance area now. So I would be inclined to say, right, any kind of movement back up to these resistance areas here, back up to the top end, 0.81 or 80, would be a short selling opportunity. But you could say that you could go into a short around these levels here at 78 or 79.80. That would be a good area to go short. So in essence, we long the FTSE going up into the cloud chart resistance area. We are long sterling because it's rebounding from the top end of the cloud, and we'll go short the euro because it's at a critical resistance area. And then the last one I want to look at is the pound Swiss franc, which has really tanked a lot. You can see here, and where are we? We're very close to significant support area, so one could look at going long in around this zone on the sorry, top end of the cloud, bottom end of the cloud, as well as the 140 area. So this is getting closer to support, and it's further away from resistance. So we'd be looking at going long sterling Swiss franc in and around the 139, 138 areas. Okay. Looking at the weekly cloud, we can see we're in the cloud, significant resistance at the top end of the cloud here. But the front end of the cloud still indicates that we have a downtrend in place. So it is possible for us to, to really move back down to the bottom end here at 134 and retest those lows. But the weekly cloud, top end of the cloud resistance here, 148, 150. And then the bottom end of the cloud here is support, where we're going to look at the daily cloud for significant support here. So that's the downside risk currently is right down to the bottom end of this cloud chart support area. So one could say I'll be going long in around this this area. Yeah, but overall, do remember that we now have the front end of the cloud still indicates upside. So we'll be positive on the Swiss franc. So just to recap. We now know from this analysis using clouds that the FTSE, for example, we're going to look at short selling at the top end of the cloud if it doesn't break past the cloud chart resistance. Euro GDP is now currently retesting all cloud chart resistance areas, so we're going to watch it very closely to see on an intraday basis where you can go short there. GBP Swiss franc, I'm getting closer to going long on that one as it approaches the top end of the cloud, and GBP US dollar is literally floating around on the top end of the cloud, and we are looking at that area to go long. If not, if it dips back down to 143, 142, those are significant areas to go long. All right, thank you for your time.